There was no longer anything that could escape it. Kalia, Triss, Atun, Alouette. Not even they were safe. I wanted to carve them open. Nice! Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Ryan Sierra, and we are playing the final part of Fallstreak, basically. So, that's happening now. Let's have some fun. Woo! Therefore, if I am a threat to them, I simply have to eliminate myself. Having arrived at that conclusion, my feet led me to a certain place, Heaven's Fall, a bridge where the lost and weary yielded their lives to Evaget. What are you thinking? You followed me. For me not to notice. It was proof of my mind's deterioration. Deodorant! Why? Why? I gazed down at the rapidly flowing water. I didn't want to look at him. You don't have to do this. You don't have to bear everything all alone. Why? Why do you always try to bear the weight all alone? Please. Lean on me. Let me help. Please promise me something, Amane. Promise me that you'll reach out to someone. Reach out to your family who loves you dearly. I'm lost. Lost in a sea of uncertainty. But maybe, just maybe, I step back from the edge. Amane! Atun rushes forward and wraps me in his embrace. He was shaking. Don't scare me like that. The thought of losing you, so soon after losing Father, I wouldn't be able to bear it. I have to tell him. Stealing my heart, I pull away from him, but unable to meet his gaze, I stare into the dark water below. Atun. Yes? The words wouldn't come, though. They stick in my throat, a clump of hot and heavy air. What is it, I was terrified, so terrified I couldn't stop shaking. Please, you can tell me anything. I know who the Phantom of Minilost is. The air around him changes. What? You know who did it? You know who killed Father? It was as if he had become a different person. If you know anything, please tell me. We need every clue we can get. No. Atun, wait. I see. So that's what it was. I was only thinking about myself. Father's death must have affected you so much as well. It's only natural. I'm afraid too. Anyone would be. The Phantom slew dozens in cold blood, after all. Someone like that isn't human. Detroit become human! All my titties are leaking! Shit! His words cut into me like a sharp blade. They gouge my insides out and spill them across the cold ground. It's okay if you're not sure about it. Every bit of information helps. The investigation's been cold for so long, after all. Yes, with this, maybe we'll finally be able to find them and make them pay. It was the same. His face was the same as the others. I'll kill them. Killer! Killer! Ah! I'll make sure they burn in hell for what they've done. Burner! It was the same face that the crowd wore on that day at that time. Only then will Father be able to rest in peace. Only when that monster is dead. It was too much. I couldn't bear it anymore. I stepped back. I wanted to run away. Wait! Atun grabs my arm. Let go. Please! You know something, don't you? Tell me. Too hard. What? You're holding too hard. But that only causes him to tighten his grip. What's wrong with you? I don't get it. I don't understand. Why won't you tell me? He reaches out with his hand. Burn the witch! Ugh. Kill him. Atoun was below me now. His pale, defenseless throat. It was right before me. Tear him apart. My body moves. I watch on as my fingers wrap around his neck. He's the same as those who murdered Mallory. All I had to do was tighten, to press down and squeeze. It would take nothing at all to wring the life out of him. But despite that, Atoun doesn't struggle. Without a hint of resistance, he gazes into my eyes. Why? Why aren't you resisting? Because the one that's really hurting isn't me, is it? The one that's truly hurting is you. Reaching out slowly, he brushes my hair to the side. You're crying so much after all. The clear raindrops drip down onto his face from above. The tension in my hands melts away. I rise to my feet. Don't follow. I turn my back on him and take off into the rain. Amine! His voice rings out behind me, but I don't stop. I was a fool. A fool to think I had any allies in the world, because I'm not human. I couldn't contain it anymore. My desire to kill, my desire to eat, it was overflowing. So much that the very next person I met. At that moment, an impossible silence descends upon the world. The sound of rain had disappeared. In its place, one sound alone rang out. Footsteps, little ones, like those of a child. I opened my eyes blankly. A small figure was heading down the path in my direction. It was someone I recognized, someone I was very familiar with.
Ah, shit. Oh!
Oh, it's Mommy!
No. My body begins to move of its own accord. No, run. Run, Kalia.
Ha ha!
What? What just happened? Cold water was dripping down my face.
Sorry, Mommy. I couldn't resist after seeing how drenched you already were. Whee!
Making use of her rain boots, Kalia vaults over a puddle. When she comes down, water sprays everywhere, including on us. I watch on in a stupor as Kalia dances through the puddles. There was a strange magnetism to the way she completely absorbed herself in the act. It stirs something in me.
Huh?
My body moves on its own. I plunge into a nearby puddle, sending geysers of water through the air. At first, Kalia seems surprised, but then she laughs and her feet join mine. Together,
We are 2 feet in one. We are 3 in one feet ship.
the sound of Kalia's laughter. It drowns out the buzzing in my head, wipes clear the red lingering at the edge of my vision. It was nonsensical, foolish even. But even then, deep in my heart, I found myself wishing this moment could last forever.
Forever! Forever! Phew! I'm soaked.
Indeed. The two of us were sopping wet now.
Ooh, rated X, girl.
We're really dumb, aren't we? Why do we do that?
But though she says that, there was a big grin on her face.
Can you make soup when we get home, Mommy?
Kalia begins to walk. My feet naturally bring me to her side. It was a well-ingrained habit of mine. Most parents hold onto their children's hand to keep track of them, but since Kalia had no hands to hold, I had always been careful to match her pace as she grew. Soup again? We had soup last night already.
Wow, this is like the opposite of me.
But I want to eat soup! Soup! Animal crackers in my soup! Monkeys and rabbits loop the loop!
Kalia sways and bobs as she walks by my side. She seemed to be in a good mood. She was just a child, but maybe... Kalia,
Yes, Mommy?
have you ever thought that I'm abnormal? What a weird thing to ask your kid. Wow. Different from other people? Kalia tilts her head quizzically.
Eh? Could it be you're self-conscious about the scar on your tummy? I think you need to grow up, Mommy. That's nothing compared to the burn marks on my face.
This little brat.
Wah!
A little more water won't make any difference anyways. I don't know why I bothered asking this little runt.
Mommy's pouting. I gotta see many new faces from you today, Mommy. Hey, Mommy.
What? What now?
Thanks. I can't remember the last time we played like this. It was really, really fun.
Turning to look up at me, she grins widely. Her smile, so clear and colorful, it hurt to look at. Unable to bear it, I avert my gaze.
Mommy?
Her voice sounded different.
Mommy.
She'd been so bright and cheerful moments ago, but now she looked like a lost child. What's wrong?
You love me, right? Me and Daddy and Triss. You love us, right?
Of course. You know that.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying.
Kalia laughs, but it wasn't like her usual laughter. It was an anxious, uneasy laugh.
I guess I just want to hear you say it sometimes. I don't know. Is that weird? Maybe I'm being too needy? Mommy, earlier when we were playing in the puddles, you were smiling and it made me really happy. But it also made me really sad, because it made me think about the last time I saw you smile, and I couldn't remember.
Kalia. Her lips trembling faintly, she stops and lowers her head.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense! But sometimes I get scared. I get scared that you'll go someplace far away.
Big, wet tears. They gather in her eyes and meld with the rain streaming down her face. I wanted to reach out and wipe them away, but I couldn't. Because even now, lingering visions of the red illusion were binding my hands.
You won't leave us, right?
I was torn. She wanted me to stay by her side.
But so long as I drew breath, she was not safe.
I won't let go.
Even though she couldn't hold on to me very well, she clings to me.
I won't let go!
She was so bright. She was so warm. My sweet, dear Kalia, I'm sorry. The world is cruel. Cruel to have made a monster like me your mother. I was a fool to have returned home that day. Perhaps somewhere in my heart I had hoped the red illusion would not return. How ridiculous. The story Mother had told me was unbelievable. From the fire of collapse to the mist killings and Grandpa's death, it all seemed unreal. The red illusion, that had been what she had called it. It all made sense now. Why Mother never kissed us goodnight, why she never wiped our tears away, and why she never held us, no matter how much we longed for her touch. It wasn't because she didn't want to do those things. It was never her wish to deprive us of the physical affection and intimacy we craved so much from her. Now you know, Triss. Now you know what a monster your mother truly is.
You're not a monster.
I wanted to shout that with all my soul. It's not your fault. Anyone would break if placed in such a cruel situation, and yet you suffered silently for so long. Your father's right. Someone like me isn't human. Why? It hurt. It hurt to hear her deny and demonize herself. Why does she have to suffer like this? Hasn't she been through enough already? Unable to express... Dude, he talks like a fucking Pokemon character, doesn't he? It's like, 1, 2, 3...
And your Pokemon learned Flamethrower! Congratulations!
To me, your clear eye was the one absolutely beautiful thing. I wanted to fill it with color and ducks, innocent things like that. More than anything, I didn't want to show you this side of me. I didn't want to see you make such a face. But in the end, I tried to kill you. You should hate me. shake my head against her hand, furiously, as if to reject the mere notion. I love you, Mom. I love you more than anything in the world. You struggled against it. You tried to fight it. And when you lost, you despaired. You're not a monster. You're human. An obsession that neared desperation. More than anything, I wanted my thoughts to reach her. But it was useless. No matter how much I wanted to, I couldn't make my heart known to her. All I could do was tremble pathetically in her arms. In this deep, dark well. Don't be naive, Triss. I know exactly what you're thinking. I'm your mother, after all. Crying for another's sake even when you're hurting so much yourself. You really are just like her. I couldn't see what kind of expression Mother had as she whispered to me. Colorless, meaningless. Even though I had no right to live, I clung to life for all this time. A dark ceiling without a star. You were the light that allowed me to make it this far. I love you, Triss. Thank you for being born. Listen carefully, Triss. I am going to die soon. For a moment, her words don't register in my mind, but when they do, I pull away from her. My body trembles. I was afraid. Afraid to look behind me. Afraid of what I might see. Triss. Blood was trailing from her mouth even as she spoke. In the light I realized, the darkness staining the well, was red. I am going to die, but you cannot die here, Triss. You must survive. Mother retrieved something from her pocket. A blue handkerchief, as blue as the boundless sky. Using her blood as ink, she scrawls a message onto the cloth. Then, she secures it to her knife. Triss, it's quite misty here, isn't it? At first, I couldn't understand what she meant. But when I blink, the world changes. The prismatic mist. At some point, it had engulfed the entirety of the well. Mother's body shifts within the mist. The sound of creaking, no, cracking. Like wood bending and snapping and bappling and slap crap slappling. Whoa! Okay. I think Amine is about to do something really weird to her son here. We're gonna find out. Close your eyes. Guided by her voice, I let myself sink into darkness. By the way, I was gonna try to make like a specific bit, but I have been making Tristan's voice so deep. I'm trying to give him like a John Young Bosch, Lelouch Lamperouge voice for something that we're gonna see later at the end of this game. It'll make sense if you know Lelouch Lamperouge. But, yeah. Come now, try to imagine. The yard in front of our house. The grass that you and Kalia play in so often. It is wet with morning dew.
Ooh, Mommy, what do you mean?
The birds are chirping. In the distance, the sun is rising. Try to imagine it. You're standing right there. The vision of our home spreads out before me. It was vivid beyond belief. I can hear the birds chirping, the wind on my skin, and the sunrise. It was beautiful. Picture it, where those footprints lead. What lies at the end of the path? A crystal clear truth. A reality dictated and woven by her hands. It paints over the canvas of the world, overriding the laws of the universe. Now, look up! At that moment, something flashes through the air. Time slows to a crawl as it passes before my eyes.
Frog in the well. There's a frog at the bottom of the well. There's a frog at the bottom of the well.
A knife. A knife with a blue handkerchief bound to it. It splits open the sky and shatters the vision before me. I force my eyes open. The mist was gone. The only thing that remained was Mother's figure, her right hand stretched out before her. As if reaching for the distant sky, the knife in her hand was gone. I see. So that's what it looks like. The boundless blue sky. Thank you, Triss. Thank you for showing me a world full of color. I just want to ask you right now, dear audience, what do you think is the implication of her suddenly seeing the world full of color as she's never seen the world full of color before? It happens as if in slow motion. Slowly her body tilts, and she falls. Mom! I rush to her side.
Do you want some Stouffer's mac and cheese? I got some mac and cheese in the freezer.
It was too cruel. Why? Why am I so powerless? I couldn't save her. No. You're the reason she's dead. If only I hadn't chased her. If only I hadn't pushed her into a corner. Maybe then she'd still be alive. It's all your fault. Lifting my arm feebly, I reach out for her. The silence that gripped the air was broken by a faint buzzing as my hand overlapped hers. It was then that I noticed. Glowing splashes of vivid red were staining my arms from the elbow up. That dripping red was burning into the pale white hand I held. That detestable red was spreading, blossoming out from underneath her. I see. I shut my eyes as it crawls up the walls, engulfing everything in sight. So this is the red illusion. Even with my eyes closed, I could still see it. Damn, he sees shit like Hyakumaru from Dororo. Her lifeless body, draped in dripping red.
Auntie!
I just can't. I'm sorry. This is. What the fuck? Like. So apparently, Alouette. We're now seeing her perspective from when we last left her. She was in with all of her dead siblings, pretending that they were alive and waiting for Amane to come back into the house. She has not come back into the house, and Alouette is now going to see what's been happening.
Huh? Ladders. Hundreds upon hundreds of ladders. They spill out of the closet without end. This is... I reach out and pick one up. My hands shake as I open it. Dear Mummy, Dia and Linny and Alouette are all waiting for you. We miss you. Come home soon. Love, Alouette. The letters I wrote to Mummy. Why are they here? Why are they unopened? I reach out and take another one. I couldn't stop. Dear Mummy, Annie saw Alouette having trouble writing the letters, so she said she'd help them and promised to send them to you. Annie has such nice handwriting, don't you think, Mummy? We miss you. Come home soon. Love, Alouette. Dear Mummy, Dia and Linny still sleep a lot, and Pap hasn't come home from work yet. It's lonely without you, but Annie is always kind, so it's okay.
This is me, staring into the camera, really, really deeply.
Alouette will keep being a good girl and wait for you. We miss you. Come home soon. Love, Alouette. Dear Mummy, a scary man with a knife broke into the house and tried to take Alouette away, but Annie came and made him go away. Alouette was so scared and cried a lot, but Annie held Alouette and said everything will be okay. Annie's so nice, we miss you. Come home soon, love, Alouette. Dear Mummy, I shat myself. The world's so blurry. I can't see anything. Why is it so blurry? I can't find Annie like this. Huh? A letter. Different from all the others. I reach out for it. To Alouette. For some reason, it really scared me, but I had to look. If it helped me find Auntie, I had to. Dear Alouette, if you're reading this, you've already made the first step. Even though the world outside is frightening and boundlessly cruel, it is also unspeakably beautiful. More than anything, I wanted you to
Step out into that world. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to be by your side anymore. Know that I'm proud of you, though. You're strong you're kind, but even the strong and kind have times when they must cry. When the time comes where you can't hold back the tears anymore, please don't cry alone. No one else may be able to understand, but that's okay. Atun, Kalia, and Triss, they are your family as well. They'll be there for you. So don't try to bear everything by yourself. I believe in you, Alouette. Don't forget all I've taught you. Don't forget that you're not alone. Love, Amane.
No. Why? We were going to wait for Mummy together. So why? Auntie, don't leave. Jesus Christ. Okay, 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 okay. Oh god. Holy shit.
Okay, okay, okay. So, Atun comes into the room, and he's gonna be beside himself as well. But the problem is, right, is... Holy shit. This is not the sound that is made when someone hugs another person. Jesus! Oh boy. Oh my god. Okay, well, turns out it wanted to do it again. It didn't learn its lesson from the first time.
Jesus, this is what hugs sound like to you? What the fuck? What in the world?
Uh, I know I shouldn't be laughing. I know. So I'm either making a very tense scene. See, this is kind of a double-edged sword. I'm either making a very tense scene, very like lighthearted and like cool for someone who's probably feeling really uncomfortable, or I'm making someone who wants to feel the emotional art of the gravitas. Really hit home. Really disappointed. Say that's inappropriate, Ryan. You shouldn't fart in a church. The cool, cold taste, refreshing of ginger seltzer. Hell yeah.
Guess we'll have to wait a bit longer. That's strange. Pretty sure this is the right time. Food. Evaget's garden. A bewitching field of flowers that sprung up in the southern wastelands following the fire of Collapse.
What the heck, Daddy? Where's the food?
A picnic was supposed to have been set up by the time we got here, but the only thing that greeted us was some bloke snoozing carelessly in the grass.
Wake up! I'm hungry!
What's going on?
The bloke murmurs blarily as Callia's fussing awakens him.
I've never seen this word in my life.
Where's the food? You can't have a birthday burp without food!
Cecil and Belly said they had it covered.
The
bloke
makes a sleepy noise and tries to go back to sleep.
Wake up, wake up, wake up! We didn't come all this way to watch you sleep, bozo!
At her wit's end, Kalia jumps on him and starts throwing a tantrum. Atun Larit, a man that always had bandages wrapped around his hands. According to Papa, he was a talented engineer, but he didn't exactly give off the most reliable of impressions. His ability to maintain any semblance of sleep with Kalia bouncing up and down on him wasn't unimpressive at the very least.
Hey, Triss, help me out here, would ya?
With an exasperated huff, Triss kneels down next to the prone Atun. He sticks his pinky in his mouth and gathers saliva on it.
Ooh, oh my.
Then he unceremoniously jams it into the poor chap's ear. Annalise, I did not know you were such a Brit.
Of course I'm British, love. How could you tell?
With an unbecoming yelp, Atun flops around like a fish trying to swim through the air.
Okay, I'm awake.
Stretching his limbs, he lets loose a big yawn.
Holy smokes. How long did I sleep for?
Staring up at the sun in disbelief, he rubs his eyes as if convinced they were somehow failing him.
Don't tell me you didn't get the picnic cloth, Atun.
We turn to find Papa and Miss Fay approaching with baskets full of food and drink in hand. You had one job, Atun. One job. And the easiest one at that.
Yeah, about that. I thought I'd have the time to take a quick nap since it was such an easy job.
Miss Fay shoots at Toon a withering glare.
You should know this birthday picnic is for your own children, right?
But, well, eating on the grass is nice in its own way. More importantly, Papa, Miss Fay, what do you think you're wearing?
Isn't this what I usually wear?
This is what I always wear in the... Oh. Their words trail off as they realize what I'm getting at. Grown-ups are so clueless at times.
So this is the thing. So we've now gone through the arc of Amine's perspective, and we've landed back at the present moment again with Adelise's perspective. So, hell yeah.
Why are you wearing your work clothes to a picnic?
At least I'm dressed properly, Bubs.
Jeez, can't you do anything right? You guys are supposed to be adults.
Oh man, if there's one thing our generation is gonna say.
Everyone makes mistakes now and then. The grown-ups look down in shame as Lorona feebly tries to defend them. Anyway, what's on the menu? I'm famished. I tug at Papa's sleeve to get him to lower the picnic basket.
There's only drinks in this one, actually.
No pasta? Noulette appears into Miss Fay's basket with a dejected expression.
What? Is this curry?
This is supposed to be a picnic, Miss Fay. Why would you make curry?
Well, don't you think sandwiches are just so generic? I tried to think of what else you could make with bread instead, and I ended up with curry.
Questionable. We can probably make it work, though.
They have a point, Bailey. Curry's not exactly prime picnic material.
Huh? How are we gonna eat the curry? I don't see any bowls or spoons.
Oh no. I must have left the basket of tableware at home.
How about you get your shit together before you criticize me and my curry?
Huh, she's so defensive. So defensive. Defensive.
Are you kidding me? The heck is this? Can anything else go wrong with this picnic?
You know what totally has just influenced my mind just now is the thought of Kalia is basically Lucy from Charlie Brown. Anyway.
What? What is it now? Just lay it on thick. I don't even care anymore.
Well, it's just... I don't think anyone brought any bread. With a look of resignation, Kalia flops lifelessly onto her face and proceeds to just destroy it, I guess.
In a show of solidarity, Trist fucking rips ass right next to her. Like, I don't... What is this sound effect, dog?
Our stomachs grumble loudly. Pasta. You have anything to say for yourselves?
Ha.
Not even Lorona seemed capable of defending them anymore.
Well, smells pretty nice, so there's that.
My apologies, everyone. I'll run back and get the third basket right away.
Excuse me. The kitty will be cold by the time you get back. Oh, it's a shame. Over here! It's Bressel. Everyone turns their attention to Bressel. Apparently he had tottered up to us at some point.
This dude looks like the kind of dude who wears, like, sunglasses tucked into his, like, shirt, like, right there.
Is that
A picnic basket?
grasped within Bressel's hands was a shining symbol of hope.
I got back just as Cecil was leaving and saw this, so...
It's all the bowls and utensils and stuff.
Ah, pasta. You even brought napkins. Just what we needed. Nice save, Bressel.
I did pretty good, huh?
Bressel swells up with pride at all the praise that comes his way.
It was pretty heavy, too, so I'm glad I...
Aloo! That is here. This mouth-watering smell. Could it be?
Kalia. Kalia. I mean, I don't think you and Alouette are related, but, like... My god.
What did you put in this curry, Bailey? It's amazing.
Looks like today is one of Bailey's good days, huh?
Is this UL cuisine? I've never tasted anything like it before. Every bite is a medley of flavor. It's actually a mix of UL and Socotrini cuisine. Its characteristic golden yellow hue comes from turmeric.
Coriander, cumin, fenugreek, and fennel are the spices that give it its distinct flavor. A dash. Pay attention, guys. Don't worry about my bad accent. This is how you make curry. A dash of hot sesame oil and spicy chili pepper to give it an edge of heat and temper the color. To thicken the consistency, flour, dextrins, vegetable cream, and powder yeast extract are used. How the fuck do I get my hands on some dextrins? And of course, the fundamentals that make up the dish's foundation: onion, garlic, ginger, palm oil, and your basic spices. Can you just get dextrin at the store? Dextrin's Laboratory?
Wow, you really went all out, Miss Faye.
Yeah, she literally read the back of a soy sauce bottle and was like, there you go.
A well-balanced dish overall. You've got your choice of meat as well as potatoes to cover your starches. I think the color is what brings it all together, though. The curry's inherent golden yellow in conjunction with the orange of the carrots and the touch of green that the chive and scallion garnish offer make for quite the palatable palate. I can't help but feel there's more behind this taste, though.
There may or may not be some secret ingredients from my experience as well. You know, the rest of the soy sauce bottle that the author didn't read. Is this really safe to eat?
We'll see.
Oh no, you're gonna shit. Last time you said that I spent all night on the There it is! There's the joke. There's poo-poo! Ha-ha! Ha-ha!
Jokes aside, the supplemental seasoning I incorporated is soy sauce and you will fish sauce.
Hey, look at that.
Fish sauce? That's weird.
That's just basically original ketchup from China.
I don't like the taste of fish at all, but this is great.
That's what's truly curious. Pungent as it may be due to the extended fermentation process, it doesn't even taste remotely like fish. Its iconic savouriness is almost certainly due to its glutamate content, though. Preliminary testing suggests nitrogen level may also play a factor. No, since nitrogen has no intrinsic flavour, this has to be a correlation. You're doing it again, Bailey.
Earth to Miss Faye. Alouette was watching. Bailey made it go pop. Pop, 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 pop.
Better get an extra roll of toilet paper ready for tonight. He literally has, you know, this would normally be called a shit-eating grin, but in his case it's called a shitting grin. Also, so real quick here, a little bit of a fun fact. So, this woman's name, not this one, her name is Belisaria Faroe, and it turns out there's this place called the Faroe Islands, right above Scotland. So that's why I'm giving her a Scottish accent. Last time we ran out and I had to use my bandage. Holy Kalia. Kalia is the voice of reason here right now.
What the heck, Daddy? That's disgusting! People are eating!
Literally, though. Nom nom. Nom nom, child. Yo, this piano's fucking baller.
It's always a wise choice not to sit near the Kalia missile magnets. You put the pasta in your curry? You're so silly, Noletta.
How is it? The pasta, I mean.
No, normal. Mr. Dumbledore's pasta is better. You haven't improved much.
Good Christ.
Leave it to Noletta to deliver savage blows without batting an eye.
Perhaps you could try taking more risks in your cooking. You strike me as someone who would approach it conservatively, Brussel.
To be fair, it takes a lot of mastery to make food like pasta stand out. It's easier to make complex recipes with many parts of your own than something as simple and fundamental as pasta. That's why I think Alouette's bread is so impressive. Brussel needs to attack it! Pow! Just fuck it up! Just fuck that motherfucking shit right in the fuckhole!
Okay, so I just wanted to show this, like, little picture here because it's so, like, fascinating to me. Because Annalise is, like, standing, like, by herself. This entire game, I don't think we've ever seen her standing like this, like, with the others, right? Like, she's never been, like, a sort of art style, you know? She's never been a character design. She's always been on the corner of the dialogue right here. So that's really pretty. That's really stinking cool, dude. The kids romp off
leaving Adelise and us adults behind. A lively Kalia is the way it should be. She's come a long way. Yeah, she's a strong girl. How have things been going with Triss? He's still avoiding you? I cast my eyes to the ground. It's been 2 years already, but some things don't fade easily. The Phantom of Minilost, after claiming Father and Amene's life, they had stopped killing and disappeared, almost as if they had fallen off the face of the earth. Just thinking about the fact that they had never been caught made my blood boil. I think Triss blames me. I think he blames me for not being able to protect his mother from that monster.
That's no good, Mr. Lorette.
Huh?
Triss doesn't have a voice of its own, so it's easy to make the mistake of projecting your own voice on him. If you two wish to reconcile, you mustn't do that. I don't think he blames you for his mother's death. He's not unreasonable like that.
I feel my eyes widen at Adelise's words. Yes, you're right. Now I feel like a fool for being consoled by a 9-year-old. I reach out to pat Adelise on the head.
Wait, wasn't she 10? These ages, man. These ages, I don't even know.
But without a hint of hesitation, she brushes my hand away.
Let me make myself clear, since you seem to be misunderstanding something. I don't like you, Mr. Lorette. You hurt Triss. When he was at his lowest and needed someone the most, you trampled over him.
Damn, this is the dark part of Adelise we don't get until near the end of the game.
I don't care how much you may have been hurting yourself. What you did was despicable.
Adelise's words drive a wedge into my heart. That's...
Triss has every right to hate you. The only reason I said what I did was for Triss's sake, not yours.
A cold and steely gaze unbefitting of a girl her age pins my voice to the back of my throat.
Anyways, I've meddled enough already. Bye.
Having said her piece, Adelise leaves to join Kalia and the others. Ouch. She's right, you know.
What you did to Triss was abuse.
I know. As the only one to survive encountering the Phantom, Triss's account had been the sole lead towards identifying the elusive serial killer. That's why when the investigation hit a dead end, I tried to coerce him into cooperating. Even though watching his mother die before him in that dark well must have been traumatizing beyond belief, I tried to force him into reliving it all, and hurt him when he couldn't. I'm an awful father.
You know, honestly, I know, like, he sees what he did was wrong, and I know that Adelise went, like, freakishly 180 in that scene, but, like, yeah, kind of. Atun kind of fucked up. Nope, you know what? Not even kind of. Nope. He did a major baddie.
It's no surprise you two are estranged. Amene's death broke you. For a long time, catching the Phantom and exacting revenge was all you cared about. You were obsessed.
Don't forget the part where he was a real insufferable asshole the entire time too.
Sorry about that. I really do regret it. I know it may be difficult to move on, but the case is cold now. We might never identify who the Phantom truly was. That's why you need to think about what really matters.
You've never even properly apologized to Triss, have you?
No.
You've always been like this, Atun. A coward.
It's true. Everything they were saying was true. I know. I'll try and do what I can. Letting loose a sigh, I muster a smile. Still, though, your daughter's really something else, Cecil. I'm glad Kalia and Triss have such a good friend looking out for them. She doesn't pull her punches. Indeed, it's quite troubling, to be honest. I wish she would act her age more. It's hard to believe she's only 9. Though if she ever heard me say that, she'd probably sass me and say she's 9.5 or something. Usually, she's nothing more than a precocious troublemaker that's too wily for her own good.
Oh wait, hello, sorry. Usually she's nothing more than a precocious troublemaker that's too wily for her own good.
But when push comes to shove, she can be pretty remorseless, especially.
Hold on, Bailey. That's just speculation. Maybe there's some truth to what you say, but that's all hindsight by now. We could come up with should-haves without end if we're going to be retrospective.
At the very least, he didn't think it was worth telling us she tried to kill herself. She was a precious friend that we cared about too, you know.
Bailey,
Just shut up. Your stupid face is pissing me off.
it wasn't uncommon for Bailey to be in a foul mood, but she seemed especially riled up today. In a way, it was actually a bit nostalgic.
What the fuck? Okay, first of all, Bailey, poor Atun over here, right? But then, at the same time, also not, because I think he would be a pretty unpleasant dude that I wouldn't be a fan of if I was in this situation. But like, this dude over here being all like, damn, my late wife's female friend telling me that my stupid face is horrendous and ugly, and that I should have told them that my wife was suicidal. Oh, dude, brings back the good old memories. Woo!
There's many mysteries about the Fire of Collapse that we've yet to unravel. Its origin, effects on the land, and of course, the injuries it left behind.
I gazed down at my wrapped hands. With great effort, I managed to flex my fingers and curl them into a loose fist. It's been almost 10 years already, yet these hands will never hold anything.
All right, calm down. Your hands aren't that badly injured.
Don't read people's minds.
I remember it took you a long time to get used to. There were a lot of things you couldn't do anymore, a lot you had to give up on. Yeah, but it's nothing compared to what other people went through, like Alouette.
The Fire of Collapse left more than just physical scars on us. Scars of the heart, even though she bears so many of them. Alouette hasn't lost hope. It's all thanks to Amini. She alone never gave up on Alouette. She even made sure Alouette would be able to grieve properly and came to terms with her death, unlike what happened with the rest of Alouette's family.
That's why I want to honor her memory. Time has begun to move once more for Alouette.
But even that is built on a fragile foundation. Believing that her siblings are waiting for her back home, she only leaves that house in order to work and raise money. All because she wants to build the house her father always dreamed of. Maybe then, her mother and father will finally return to her. That's what she believes.
I don't know if going ahead with building the house was the right decision, but it's tough. Sometimes Alouette stops by the construction site and tells us stories. Stories about how her mummy always wanted a bigger kitchen so she could cook larger portions for the growing children. Or how her little brother Dia once got stuck in a tree, forcing their pop-up to climb up and save him. Sometimes she even sings us songs that she learned from her little sister Linny.
She really loved her family, didn't she?
So that the deceased might rest in peace, we must help her move on. Perhaps when this house is finished, she'll finally be able to find closure. We can only hope.
Especially with people she doesn't like.
Oof.
How does it feel knowing such a young girl absolutely hates your guts, Atun?
It makes me feel like all the evil in the world. Well, between Amine and Sarah, I think we're all more than used to being mercilessly Well, between Amine and Sarah, I think we're all more than used to being mercilessly exposed and toyed with. Jeez, I miss those two. Game night's just not the same without the whole crew.
Also, Amine and Sarah. What about Mallory?
Well, crap. Didn't mean to kill the mood. Guess it'd be best if we changed the topic.
Wait. There's something I want to talk about that I never got the chance to bring up before. Regarding Amine, that is.
Man, I thought she was going to bring up Sarah. Ugh. Because wasn't that his wife that he just kind of...
It's just... Don't you think in the time leading up to her death, she was acting strange?
What? What are you talking about, Bailey?
It felt like she was pushing us away, trying to keep us at a distance.
She did have this one time she seemed a little out of it.
But other than that, she was her usual self.
And I'm telling you, that was an act.
What are you trying to say, Bailey? Couldn't you just be overthinking things?
No. I think Bailey may be onto something. I never had anything more than this sort of vague feeling, but now that it's been put into words, I see where Bailey's coming from.
I'm sure of it. Amade wasn't acting like herself at the time. She seemed sick.
Sick? Sick with what?
Mental illness.
Happy Mental Illness Awareness Month, everybody.
Trick or treat!
The flowers, they dance. Under the gently setting sun, they sway in concert to the wind's caress. Flowers of all shapes and colors. Yet one kind alone was reflected in my eyes. Splashes of vivid blue speckled with intermittent white. It reminded me of clouds drifting through a boundless sky. This color, it's the same. The same as Mommy's eyes. Even though they were nowhere near as far away as the sky, I still couldn't reach out for them.
Wow, that 1 second of not saying anything is going to cost me my life.
All I could do was watch. Just like back then, when I couldn't hold on to things that were dearest to me. Powerless. A bystander to one's own life. That's all I was. If only I held on tighter. I gazed down at my ineffectual arm stumps, always using this as an excuse for being nothing. How long am I going to stand idle? A wingless bird that has never touched the sky. If such a bird was born and never saw another fly, would it know its places in the sky? Or would it feel empty when it gazed at the heavens, unable to understand why?
What are you doing, lost in thoughts all alone?
Oh, it's you, Addie.
You had quite the expression there, you know.
Addie sits down on the hill and pats the ground next to her. I sit down by her side. Silence. For a while, the two of us simply gazed at the scenery before us without saying anything. It was a comfortable silence, though, warm and fuzzy. My eyes wander over to Addie. I find myself thinking what kind of relationship I had with her. You could never tell what was on her mind. She was just that kind of person. But for some reason, I really wanted to know. I wanted to know what she was thinking. When she notices me looking at her, she smiles. A radiant smile that made you feel like you were being embraced by the sun. It made my chest ache. Breaking eye contact, I dropped my gaze to the patch of sky blue flowers before me, in these weird-ass bubbles. It was so close, yet at the same time. Too far away for me to hold. Kalia. I jump at the sound of her voice next to my ear. Oh, Jesus, Annalise, your head got cut off. At some point, she had gotten close, real close. Without blinking, she peers into my eyes. What?
Every single part of you belongs to the Kalia that I know and love.
Bringing her hand to my face, Addie traces her fingers gently along the edges of my scars. Hey, cut that out! That tickles! Without warning, she suddenly leans in and blows a puff of air into my ear, sending a jolt of electricity down my spine. The heck you think you're doing? Don't hit me! Why are you like this?
Because your reactions are the best? Come on, let me give you a big wet smooch next.
Oh, no. FBI, FBI, FBI.
You know, Alouette, before you came, Kalia had this really lonely face on and was thinking about how she wanted to be a flower instead of a person.
No, I wasn't!
Alouette likes human Kalia. Please don't turn into a flower.
Listen to what I'm saying!
Alouette loves the faces Kalia makes. Right?
Oh my god, we've not seen this face on Annalise before.
I am so done with you two right now. Shoo! Get out of here!
Wow, she's mad at us.
Run away! The two of them run off and disappear over to the next hill, burping over a couple of ants. Geez, they just do whatever they please.
Geez, please. Geez, please.
I heave a heavy sigh.
Hey, Kalia.
Ugh.
Ouch, such a cold reception. I feel like I've been getting roasted all day.
What do you want?
Uh,
Daddy scratches the back of his head.
you have a good eye, Kalia. These flowers are nice.
He crouches over the patch of sky blue flowers. What do you think you're doing?
G-
Hands that have been wrapped in bandages for as long as I can remember. We both knew. There was no way they'd suddenly be able to handle something so delicate.
Well, that didn't go very well, did it?
Daddy smiles weakly as he gazes down at the once beautiful flower in his grasp. Its fragile stalk and petals had been crushed under his unfeeling fingers. But despite that, he doesn't give up.
By the way, so this is a fascinating symbol. Kalia has an external problem with not having any arms anymore herself, but also her dad can't use his hands for much of anything anymore either. So, like, that's pretty fascinating. So he also got bit with the same thing she did, only his is much more, like, symbolic. Another thing that's fascinating about this is, remember how when he was younger and he was trying to always flirt with Amane before they got married and he couldn't ever say the right things? And now his son Tristan lost his voice due to the fire of collapse. But Tristan and Kalia both have yellow eyes, just like Atun. I'm just saying, the symbolisms in this game are, whew.
Just stop already. I couldn't bear to watch.
Kalia.
Daddy looks at me with the expression I hate. Don't look at me.
Don't look at me with those eyes! Those eyes, father!
Eyes that pitied me. Eyes that pitied himself. I couldn't stand them. They made me feel like my time stopped. They made me remember how I used to be. A person who always felt sorry for herself, who wallowed in self-pity and comfortable misery. There used to be a time where everybody gazed at me with those eyes. You poor girl, they would say. Only Addie had been different. She alone had looked past that and treated me like an equal. At first it was confusing and surprising, but it made me realize what I really wanted. Even if it's through the goodness of people's hearts, I don't want special treatment. Deep down, I just want to be treated like a normal girl. But maybe it's hopeless to wish for something like that.
I'm sorry, Kalia.
What are you apologizing for? I just don't understand him when he gets like this. It felt like there was a rift between us, a gulf that I didn't know how to traverse. Why did he even want to pick the stupid flower? It was a gesture I couldn't return, a gesture I couldn't reciprocate. Something like that. He might as well just go decorate a doll. Hey, Kalia! Addie's shout rings out to us from a distant hill. We're all ready to head out now. A rough weight lands awkwardly on my head. Daddy's hand.
Time to go, Kalia.
I let my gaze linger on the sky blue flowers one last time before leaving. Wordlessly, I slide up to Daddy's side and the two of us begin to walk. Up ahead, Addie was walking alongside her dad just like us. Their hands brushed and joined together. It was probably an unconscious act for most families, but it wasn't something Daddy and I were capable of. There was no way to avoid looking at her. A dazzling flower she had picked in one hand, and a strong but gentle palm in the other. It was as if they were dancing to the wind like all the other flowers in the field. The two of us follow in their footsteps. We walk behind the father and daughter linked to each other through their hands, unable to do the same. I thought I decided I wouldn't be like this anymore. I thought I decided I wouldn't be like this anymore. I hated it. I hated how much my chest ached when I looked at their backs. It was an ugly emotion that I didn't want to accept. It felt suffocating, like a hole was burning through me. And so, to escape that crushing feeling, I drop my gaze to the ground and close off my heart.
Kalia,
At some point, Daddy had stopped and lagged behind. But before I can even wonder why, an incredible pressure lifts me off the ground high into the air. Whoa! I thrash in an attempt to keep balance as Daddy sweeps me into a shoulder ride and runs up to Addie and her dad. Oh? Challenging us to a race, are you? Very well. I permit you to carry me to victory, princess style, Papa. Wah! Don't just sling me over your shoulder. This isn't comfortable at all.
Don't be unreasonable, Addie. I'm carrying all these picnic baskets as well, after all.
We're racing too.
Without warning, I let out bounce breath. Without warning, no.
What are voices? Just what are voices?
Okay, so, as everyone else has partnered up to do a fun little horseback ride, what is going to be happening to our fated Belisaria? I didn't sign up for this.
Oh, sweet Jesus Lord.
Let's go, Bailey. Giddy up, giddy up.
I'm not a blind horse. Mush, mush.
A sled
dog's not much better.
Everyone, what's up with you? You're all such idiots.
Ready, set, go.
Daddy takes off like a thunderbolt. He ran as if his life depended on it, forcing me to hunch over in a desperate bid to stay aboard. Within a heartbeat, we pull ahead of the other contenders, but Daddy doesn't stop. Like a man possessed, he gallops through the sprawling fields as if chasing the sun itself. Even long after we had left everyone behind, he keeps on going. After an unbelievable amount of time, Daddy crumples to his knees, panting heavily. I didn't know what to say. It had all happened too quickly. In the end, Daddy ends up being the one to break the silence.
Oh boy, you sure gained a lot of weight, Kalia. I don't remember you being that heavy in the past.
What? Idiot! What do you think you're saying to the birthday girl? Daddy begins to laugh, wholeheartedly, with all his soul. The sound of it somehow seemed to clear everything away. Pfft! The heck's up with you? Before I know it, the laughter begins to well up and spill out of me as well. We must have looked like complete fools laughing our hearts out in the middle of nowhere.
Ha, ha.
Daddy's always been like this. Dense, unreliable, and always doing stupid things that make no sense. Also, his jokes suck. By the way...
Old men, they really get rusty with their humor, don't they?
I turn to face the sun in the distance. I don't need a fancy homemade birthday present, so you don't need to stay up all night in your workshop anymore.
You noticed, huh?
Daddy hangs his head in shame.
Kalia, I am
What did I tell you about the apologizing? Isn't it better for my family to exchange thanks than apologies? You don't seem to get it, huh? Then I'll start. I knock foreheads with them. Thanks, Daddy. Thanks for winning that race for us. Daddy's eyes widen. From now on, let's exchange gratitude instead of regrets, okay? I smile at him.
Yes. You're right.
Daddy smiles back at me. He rises to his feet.
Daddy's hitting the thanks bank on the way home today.
Ignoring his lame sense of humor,
Oh, that was kind of a fun pun, though.
there was a clearness to his eyes that I'd almost forgotten. Ever since Mommy died, Daddy's always carried a darkness to his eyes. As if he were trapped in the past, unable to escape. I see. This is the Daddy I've always wanted to come back to us. Heh, that's more like it. The two of us survey the landscape before us. A beautiful garden that had sprung up from the ashes of collapse. Like a phoenix rising from the grave. No matter what awaits us in the future, no matter what kind of fire tempers us, I'll remember this sight and never give in. Where are you two? In the distance, voices were calling out for us. Come on, let's go join the others. I have to rub this victory in Addie's face. It wasn't often that I could claim bragging rights over her, after all.
Wait up, Kalia. Oof. Hope I didn't pull anything.
By the way, totally, I feel like it's like kind of telegraphed here, but goddamn, Kalia is obviously in this moment being more of an adult than her dad. Can we just take a moment to appreciate? I know the world's been fucking crazy recently, and everybody likes to think that they're hot shit, but like, this is a kid acting more adulty than their parent. And I know our generation of parents doesn't want to give a fuck about that shit, but here's the deal. Here's a daughter acting light years more mature than her own dad. Kudos. Kudos.
He was there. Evaget's garden. Amidst his ghostly night luminance he stood.
Triss. Pardon me, that was Atun, not Kalia. Whatever. Oh god, what? Oh my god! I forgot how, like, jarring this whole ending is. Ugh. There we go. Jand. You know, thank you. Thank you, Pototo. So that's the game. So sequel, please. Sequel, please. Because what happened with Triss? And poor Atun. Poor Atun sees this too. I thought it was Kalia. I guess Atun seeing it makes... Oh, that changes things. Oh my god. That changes things in my mind. Oh, wowee, everybody. Well, without further ado, we are gonna call it home. Leave a comment down below, actually, if you want me to give more insightful comments about this game, but I thought that I was kind of doing it as I was playing, so that way I wouldn't have to group them all together at the end. But maybe, if you like that, boom, leave a comment, leave some support, give me some love among this sad music. Without further ado, we gonna go poo-poo.